Previously in Dragon's Maw, the Maulers fought the Four Horses Raiders of the past and won. This granted them entrance to Astaroth's central sanctum. An argument began, but the Well of Souls within the chamber rumbled and out-climbed the spirit of, a massive dragon lord, challenging the Maulers again. Roll for initiative.
What, we don't get to try to negotiate?
Wait, really?
Wait, what?
We just had a combat! Are we combating again?
If you can think of a way to immediately pacify an angry dragon lord's spirit that wants your guts, sure.
Loyalty? Oh wait, no, loyalty can't be. Kindness! We have 2 ponies with kindness. Go!
Did we rest long enough to get magic points back?
No.
I don't have the magic to do that then.
God damn it.
Nah, I'd rather fight.
What?
Fine.
Oh. I mean, I could use kindness and stuff to make it calm down.
Whatever you guys think. Echo.
Hello,
We're
Kevin.
fighting which one? We're fighting Astaroth?
No,
No.
Astaroth steps aside.
Torch,
as...
not Thorn. Torch.
Torch.
It had the same letters, right?
Yeah, almost the same letters, yes. Looks up at... Flotsam looks at Torch and goes, well, hi! I don't suppose you like cupcakes?
I do not!
We brought
Do
a
you
loaf
even
of
know what cupcakes are, just out of curiosity?
No, but it comes from you ponies, and that means it's awful!
Okay,
I
first of
admit-
all, I am not a pony.
I am a Minotaur who has brought a peace offering basket. It was also made by an adorable little cat.
How do you feel about cats? You like cats?
I'm sure the cat would like you.
The cat likes everyone.
Roll for initiative.
Oh, right. I
Fine.
forgot to... I went into the rolls room, was like, I'm going to do that! And then I completely forgot.
Oh, wow.
You just...
Sweet!
Ooh!
Wasted it!
Nice, Tit.
Wasted it!
So now we're fighting.
Dean goes super first.
You just do not want us to get away without fighting this, don't you?
I guess.
I mean, I could.
Is this
I
one
can
of those
still-
things where we have to defeat you and then you'll listen to us and become our friend? Or are you just going off on total anger and hatred here? Javolt says to Torch.
Torch is readying an attack, but Din's going very first.
Oh, there's that image. Okay. Oh gosh, what do I open with?
Do we have our initiative order?
Yeah, I got it. Din, what's your first move?
Oh gosh. Oh jeez.
I would suggest an attack.
That what I should know?
So is someone filling in for Zenkarn this week, like didn't filled in for Steel last week?
Yeah, I got Zenkarn.
Okay.
Zenkarn, can you... No. Actually, no, that's probably stupid of me to ask.
Holy shit.
Okay, starting at 4 pips. I am going to use my +1 for unprocessed product to craft 1 vial of acidic addendum. And I can expend that at any time when I have an attack that only hits 1 target. And then I am going to -1 to get a blood sample. Target creature suffers ongoing 5 damage. Whenever it takes damage from this effect, I gain 5 HP.
Alright, so you rush forward and just stab in like the chest this great big dragon spirit. And as soon as you do that, he goes, "Ah!" And his claws slip off the edge of the soul well and he plummets down.
Did you just do what I think you did?
Maybe.
Wait, no, hold on. How
Doesn't
did
he
you
have
do that?
brains?
He's immaterial. How did you stick a needle in him?
That was anticlimactic.
Doctor's secret.
Doctor, did you perform medicine on ghosts at some point?
Flotsam
Doctor's
just
secret.
peers down the chasm after him. Is he coming back?
Yeah, I'll look down too. Like,
Astaroth also looks over the side and says, guess he didn't have quite enough willpower to maintain his form that long in our world.
I'm tempted to toss the peace offering basket down after him.
It's a classic rookie mistake, Astaroth. Love is actually stronger than hate.
I don't think you have enough for all the souls down there, Minotaur.
Fair point.
Clearly.
Flotsam's eyes light up. Besides, I'm not sure they can eat cupcakes. They need soul food.
Aurelia, face palms.
Cheesy grin directly at Aurelia. You know you love me.
Is it weird that my first thought, too, there's probably not enough, was, oh, hey, let's just send Butters down there. He can Jesus the situation. Just multiply the bread and fish.
You know?
Except you guys left him behind for his own sake.
Well, yeah, because why would we ever send him down the soul pit?
Well, you know, we could have Butters, you know, up here making cookies and then tossing them down there. It will be raining love
Stop
cookies.
wasting good comfort food on people who can't eat it.
Oh, okay.
It's the thought that counts.
Highlight was just
So,
like,
Astaroth, are you willing to talk more now, or?
Oh, now that the souls themselves aren't trying to stop you. I suppose.
I thought only one soul that was trying to stop us.
I imagine he borrowed from a few others down there.
Well, that's not very nice.
you
No.
sound very
Aren't I, though?
well.
Yeah, we kind of get this attitude a lot.
Look,
You know,
we don't really want to fight you. Can we negotiate? I suppose.
I mean, at least half of us are normally friendly individuals who would rather talk things out, I think.
Yeah, I'm up for talking.
Zenkarn's
I'm actually kind of up for...
Zenkarn's probably moaning about, oh, come on.
I mean, realistically, we would love to solve this peacefully, and frankly, there are a lot of dragon cultists out there who would be happy to serve you without this whole destruction thing and, you know, the whole evil revenge act.
Okay, no, see, Tempered, this is why you can't outright call someone evil to their face. That kind of breaks the point. You can say revenge, that's alright.
Default.
Look, if someone is acting
Steel wasn't actually calling Astaroth evil, just what doing evil. And let's be honest, killing everyone in the wasteland is a little bit evil.
I can't deny that.
See, she gets it.
Can't deny it.
That was... the whole reason we're talking right now is because when I realized that Vasuki would tell you everything, and the first thing you would want to do is come here, and in fact that was, the whole reason you're friends. Oh, by the way, she snaps her claws,
Can we have them back?
The bubbles around the B team float down to the ground and burst, leaving them unconscious on the floor at the very, very, very far side of the chamber.
Can we reach them from here?
It would take a few minutes to get over there. I mean, like, you're not sprinting.
Thank you for that.
Flotsam is kind of prancing on her hooves, looking antsy. Can I go and see them? I want to make sure they're not dead.
They're not.
That seems like
Okay, but I'm going to go hug them better. Bye. And Flotsam zips off across the cavern.
That seems like a thing that Zenkarn could go with her on.
She's not waiting for anyone. She's just flying across the cavern to hug them back to life.
Javol nudges Zenkarn and just sort of nods in a go after her sort of way.
Zenkarn follows along because his player's not here and he wouldn't know what else to do. Anyway, even as Flotsam gets further away, you can still hear Astaroth and the rest of their voices as if they were right next to you, and she says, that was the thought I had then was a kind of a curious one, rather sobering one, that if we'd known what was coming, we would have done much the same as you, everything in our power to stop our world from ending.
Not wanting the world to end is a very a very normal reaction to hearing that it might happen.
Yeah, not evil at all.
So I take it.
Well, I mean, I don't want the world to end, but it would make a nice experiment at some point
Oh.
for a given value of world.
So I take it you're not just stalling us.
I might be. I haven't decided yet.
Well, look,
the souls here are, well, they're here and they're not really going anywhere. And
Here,
I'd still very much like to bring back my people to undo at least something that was done
Well,
in the
well,
war.
I mean,
Well,
honestly,
would
I
that be?
wouldn't disagree
Let
with
me-
bringing back a few dragons.
How do you
Mostly
choose?
It's the huge army of dragons that,
How do
you
you?
know.
How can you say such a thing and choose which life to save and which life to condemn?
Well,
You
okay,
can't
Flotsam
really.
is
look, wait. I have a question. What would it take to not resurrect them, but to be reborn? Would that be easier?
Much more difficult.
Much more difficult?
Yes, this is all based on at its core, it's a resurrection ritual. To give someone a new life to reincarnate, that's an entirely different ritual.
But I mean like what we did with Vasuki. Like we tried to resurrect Vasuki, but not.
What you ponies did with Vasuki was something that has never been attempted and has no basis in any magic.
if Astaroth, maybe the right course of action isn't to look back, but to look forward, and
Yeah.
rather than trying to
I
bring
think
back
I
the
think she
past,
knows that.
try and
I
build
think
a
she's
better future.
I think she's
From across
trying
the
to build a
from
better
across-
future from the past.
from across the cavern. Flotsam shouts, "Javalt, stop interrupting Steel!"
And let me tell you, I don't know if it's possible, but my plan, once this whole thing is over, is I have seen that it is at least possible to restore, if not people, the land. And let me tell you, when this is all done, that is
Actually,
gonna
no,
be-
wait, that's a good idea. What if you use the soul energy to revitalize the land and a few dragon eggs, I don't know.
And give up on
No. See, the thing is, everyone wants the dragons back. We just
Well,
don't
not
want the army of slaughtering dragons back.
I want the dragons I knew back.
How long did you know them?
All of my life.
And how long was that?
Not very long.
Yeah. And how long have you known Vasuki or Amar, those people?
Do not talk to me like a child.
I'm just asking questions.
You're asking me questions as though I'm a child.
That is a
Flotsam
bad
appears-
habit of mine. I apologize. It's
Flotsam appears, dragging Short Circuit with her. Yeah, he does that to everyone. Don't take it personal.
So, what I'm getting from either
my point is that yes, you knew these dragons, and yes, they were important, but you didn't. I can't make the decision. You can't make the decision. Nobody knows these dragons enough to make the decision that they should come back.
They died because of the war.
And the war is over, and it's tragic. And if you stick to the past, if you let the deaths of the past define you and consume you, you might well cause the deaths of the future.
I cannot understand this. I have, within my grasp after 2 centuries, the power to bring back my loved ones and their loved ones, and every single one of them that died when the bombs fell, and you would say I should give that up?
well,
Astaroth.
What happens when
Can
they
I-
come back? Will they try and wipe out everyone else?
Maybe.
I think we should.
But maybe they can be convinced. Maybe we can do something to prevent that. I'd rather search for an alternative than give up entirely.
wait, I have a
Astaroth?
question.
You've shown time and again that you can at least understand this.
On
Astaroth,
some level, at least, yes.
Can we?
Yes, well,
am I muted?
No, you're not.
No.
No,
Hey, can
no,
you...
you're not
You're
unmuted.
just being talked over again.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the
Astaroth.
Philly.
Let her speak. Fuck.
I'm sorry. That was badly timed.
Astaroth, is there a way to bring them back without sacrificing the souls of everyone else? Like, all the souls down there? She kind of points down into the chasm.
It's not as though they're.
It's
not as though they'll be consumed once their energy has.
Will they go
has-
free?
Yes.
And do you have to kill anyone else?
Just a few more.
How many is a few?
Depends on what state they're in when they die. Could be many dozens. Could be just a few very strong souls.
Whoa, wait. Okay, we can't do that, though. We can't choose who's going to die for this.
Well, actually,
There's-
there is someone that we do have to kill. And he might have a pretty strong soul.
Fair enough, but at the same time,
Ponies dying in this wasteland is not something you can control or even pretend to control.
Wait. I just realized something. We're asking her to choose who lives, but we're not willing to choose who dies? That's awfully hypocritical of us.
Well, but that's the thing and stuff. Like, if she gets just enough souls and everything, and they get released, they're not destroyed or anything, all the dragons come back, all we have to do, but to do that, a few more need to die. How can we choose who to die so that they can live?
A
Well,
few
do
more.
we
A few
have
more.
to choose? This is the wasteland.
It's not even a
Yeah.
choice. If ponies will die, whether it takes a few hours or a few years. All the ritual does is take advantage of that fact. All that our curses have done is take advantage of that. Just
Realistically, the only genuine concern here is making sure that they don't decide to slaughter everyone when they come back.
Incidentally, can I roll, something to determine whether she's being honest with us?
perception
Like,
might be.
perception?
Perception might
Yes,
be the thing you use.
Okay, perception.
That's an unnatural 20?
You sense that she's being very reserved because this seems like a very big change of heart, but for all appearances, she doesn't seem to be, have any sort of the tics or mannerisms of someone who's lying to your face. All the emotions she's expressing seem to be honest and genuine. They seem to have the right rhythm to them.
Hey, Astaroth? You don't have to answer this if it's too personal, but I was wondering, how old were you when it happened?
I wouldn't have been more than a little dragonling.
Her brow kind of furrows. So, you kind of grew up alone, huh?
Well, not alone. There's always been company, but...
But without parents. Without a family.
Mm-hmm. Not that there's any turning back the clock for me.
No, but maybe for others. And I know what it's like. I was really lucky to find a family. So, I'm sorry that happened to you. It can't have been easy. She kind of nervously trots forward and holds out her forearms for kind of looking up at her.
Astaroth just gives you a very confused look. What are you
She,
What are you
you
doing?
know- Do you know what a hug is?
I've heard of it.
Can I give you a hug?
Okay. She kind of rolls her eyes a bit and kneels down.
Flotsam hugs her around the middle. First time for everything.
Gil will step over and put his arms out to offer a bigger hug.
You trying to one-up me, Minotaur?
Okay.
Shall we make this a group hug?
I'd rather not.
Yeah.
Flotsam lets go of Astaroth and goes and sits on Tempered Steel's head.
So what I'm getting from this, we could literally just... Is there a time limit on this ritual at this point? Or could we just wait for more... a few more to die of whatever causes and stuff. We're not choosing.
Well, depends on how quickly more souls are fed into the kiln.
But I mean, like...
What are we qualifying as souls here? I mean, if a few thousand rad scorpions suddenly committed mass
Pony
suicide...
souls. The ritual commands pony souls. Or, well, okay. Not specifically ponies, also donkeys and minotaurs, sapient souls. Souls with emotional value to them.
Is there
From
any...
up on Tempered Steel's head, Flotsam looks down and said, "The souls that are down there right now, are they suffering while they're waiting for the ritual to be completed?"
She thinks for a while.
Zenkarn seemed to think they were.
The hybrids are in a very particular state. They are tied to a very ancient power, and they are not in the best of ways. This is just
What happens to them when this ritual goes off?
I honestly do not know. That was an invention, mostly the executive's design.
Ken,
But to hypothesize,
I'm sorry, you're just fading in and out, Spud.
I'm also speaking quietly, but
Yeah, what was that last thing you said?
the hybrid ritual was a thing mostly of the executive's invention. But to hypothesize,
Do you know why?
To hypothesize about
go ahead.
about the souls, the other souls, they have simply moved. They aren't going with the rest of the necromantic well, but they are in a well of their own.
You're cutting in and out. I don't think it's just you talking quietly.
Well, that's great.
You're mostly okay. It's just sometimes your microphone seems to kind of just cut a little bit. But you're mostly okay.
The souls down in this well I've constructed are not leading any existence any different from the other souls that return to the grand necromantic soul well.
Okay.
And what we need from them is their energy, which is to be spent on this, and which will disperse them for a while, but eventually their energy will recoalesce and they will rejoin the rest of the souls.
So like recycling.
The nature of spirits in this world is one great big recycling situation, yes.
So how did the dragons get brought back exactly?
That energy powers essentially a mega spell.
So what, the bones of them will reform into how they were before they died, and they'll have their souls back, or what?
Yes. Essentially.
Well, that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. No wonder that took you 2 centuries.
Wait.
How long has the executive... You said that the executive was the one who sort of came up with the whole hybrids thing.
Yeah.
Does that mean that he's interacted with this spell?
I'll admit I helped because I was convinced that aiding him in this war would bring this to a conclusion faster. And to an extent, I was right.
Yeah, you weren't wrong, but I wouldn't say you were right, per se.
And to answer your question, yes, I've shown him a very small portion of how the ritual works.
That's worrying.
Yes.
You know that he's seriously messed up, right? I mean, you've worked with him. You know he's kind of a bad dude.
I have trouble believing that he could be a serious threat to any of my designs, but, well, here I am.
The last time that dragons underestimated ponies.
Yes. We had no idea what they were capable of back then.
And
hey, do you know what the...
Sorry.
Hey, do you know... Oh, god damn it. You go first.
No, you go.
Okay. Do you know what the executive's endgame is? I mean, we kind of figured that he wants to have eternal youth or something like that.
He's pursued immortality by many means, through magic, through technology, and everything under the sun.
Oh my gosh, I just realized the executive is one of the Flim Flam brothers, isn't he?
No. No.
No. No.
Nice thought, but no.
No.
Okay, so basically all we have to do at this point, go stop the executive, wait for a few more souls, then when the ritual evil happens, we're going to have to deal with a lot of angry dragons scattered all across the Maw, and some probably want to kill a lot.
There might be a way to limit some of the carnage, and that's to exclude one very specific dragon.
How about
Tiamat, I presume?
Yeah, the goddess of the chromatic dragons. When this was still a revenge plot, and to be fair, it still is, the idea was...
See, this is the thing. I don't understand why everyone thinks revenge is just killing the other guy. That just strikes me as laziness.
Would you... I can't...
Default, less semantics, more listening to Astaroth.
The idea was to also bring back the goddess, the one who was banished and buried all those years ago by the pony princesses.
Spud, it's going funny again.
Yeah, there's a lot of, audio messing up. There's, parts where you're going, flat and cutting in
Static.
and out. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Well, the Audacity looks fine, so it's only the Skype transfer that's actually acting up that way.
Okay, well that probably means the recording will be okay, except for us going, Spud, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Would it be out of place for me to motion for a possible reboot of Skype and then call?
I'd have to... the recording's on is the thing.
I
don't think it would actually fix anything.
Yeah, I don't think
Fair
it
enough.
This is why I asked if it would be out of place. This is...
Yeah, it's worth asking.
So, just, let's take it back, Kurt. So, just real fast. You know exactly what the executive messed with, and exactly what that will do, correct?
Well, he didn't modify the ritual, my ritual. All he did was create a new ritual surrounding the egg. However, part of that does have a connection to the Well of Dragon Souls that I've gathered up, including the link with Tiamat.
Do you think it's possible that he might be using one of these rituals as an endgame to make himself immortal? I mean, I don't know how immortality works, but I'd kind of imagine that soul magic could be pretty helpful in that regard.
Okay,
I think-
crazy question. He couldn't potentially use any of this ritual stuff to turn himself into a dragon, could he?
Well, you've taken the egg from his possession.
Oh, and hatched it.
And hatched it. All right.
Congratulations, you have a new baby teenager dragon.
Aurelia rolls her eyes and says, "Yeah, he's a real treat."
The hybrids, though, you said they're connected specifically to Tiamat?
They have...
Yeah.
It is Tiamat's power that allows that sort of... They aren't transforming so much as their very nature, their reality is being changed. And only Tiamat has the power to do that sort of thing.
So it wouldn't be that, to throw a stupid... I'm not exactly keen on soul magic, but I have fears. It's not as though they're getting a portion of Tiamat's soul, correct?
No, just a portion of Tiamat's power is, at least I assume, Tiamat's soul is, she is as close as we have to a goddess, a true goddess. Her soul could not just be sliced into parts and distributed, no. At least I shouldn't think so.
Can I roll history to see if I know about the bobbleheads?
What?
What? Oh.
Aren't they figurines in this one?
The figurines, sorry. Because I don't think we've encountered any.
No, not here. Mostly because the
first time
stats don't match up.
Yeah, the stats don't translate well, but
Oh my gosh.
Can I roll history to see if Tibbs knows about those?
It's an extremely long shot, but sure.
Okay.
Roll your nat 20 again.
God, I hope so. Damn it, why isn't Zenkarn here? He knows more stuff about stuff. Oops, it's not... Okay, it wasn't typing stuff in. Figurines... No, it's only an 18.
Yeah, that's extremely obscure knowledge that it took, like, Little Pit ages to figure out, so...
Yeah.
You know what? I want to take a long shot attempt seeing if I can pull that off.
Sure, just spam the check, see if that helps.
I wasted a nat 20 on a mook.
Would we call Torch a mook? Would we do that?
Yes.
Woo.
So basically, it's 16.
He was technically a minion.
Ouch. Poor Torch.
Well,
Steel knows far less.
I got a natural 1!
He-
Wow.
Javolt's like,
I love how the
figurines?
stacks are just getting worse.
There are figurines in the wasteland?
Where's the figurine?
Why did no
No.
one tell me?
I believe the figurines are actually manifestations of the will of, I don't know, some
Celestia?
hellhound deity. I don't know. Javolt's mind is broken at this point, so.
At this point?
I think his mind has always been broken.
Any hoozle.
Okay, well, I suppose that...
I feel like you've been driving at this theory anyway, so
Yeah.
you might as well just say it.
Well, the thing, I legitimately don't know that Tibbs would... If Tiamat, or not Tiamat, if Astaroth says that it's not taking pieces of the soul, then, again, Tibbs doesn't know soul magic that much.
Well,
I'm not going to medicate this.
Astaroth's response wasn't ironclad either.
Is Zenkarn still over by the other B team members, right?
Yeah,
So he's really not in on this conversation. So
he's also not here, so...
well,
Well,
yeah. Well, my point was, if he was, directly present, he could theoretically give us the information that we'd need to make the question ourselves.
You know what, Tibbs?
Oh, hey, there he is.
Tibbs is enough of a paranoid that, a book specifically made, but, yes, but also dragon? Dragon god? I suppose Tibbs is paranoid enough and has, run into enough crazy crap in the wasteland that he could probably at least hazard a stupid guess along some lines like this. So,
Wait a minute. Tiamat has 5 heads, right?
Yes.
So why exactly would splitting her power be a problem? She could split into 5 individual. Or am I missing something here?
I think you're missing something here.
okay, I'm just going to
I know
Try
I
it.
missed something here.
forgive. I've spent a lot of time out in
The
the West,
executives
so I've
made
met
more
a
than
lot of-
5 hybrids.
A lot more than 5 hybrids.
Well, then
Ah.
it's just a random 5 that get the power, I think. Or what are we talking about again?
Again, entertain this small theory of a paranoid drug dealer. You don't think that there's possibly the chance that he's manipulated the ritual to split Tiamat's soul so that all of that power is under his possession and control? Do you?
Astaroth closes her eyes and thinks for a while, mumbling, if he gathered them all up, and assuming that even the most minuscule amount of Tiamat's soul or presence was within each hybrid, if you gathered them all up, it would only be the smallest fraction of Tiamat's true being.
Yeah, but with how powerful Tiamat is, how powerful are we talking here?
And what happens when you revive a fraction of a soul?
Could the executive technically become a god?
I'm actually more
But
worried
how does that factor into his goal? What would he have to do to?
What if the fraction is still connected to the rest of the soul? He could just sort of pull it in like a ball of yarn and then weave the yarn around himself.
He would have to tug on that thread into infinity.
Well, if he gets enough, he doesn't
And
have
his mortal frame
he
would
just
not.
has to be patient, right? If he has enough to anchor him, then all he needs is time.
Do you think this might all be a moot point if we just go kill him?
Killing him is starting to sound really good.
I mean, we do still want to do that, right? I mean, I'm all for mercy where it makes sense, but this guy...
From
I mean, I'm pretty sure we have, like, grenades with his name on them.
No, that would be powder keg.
Okay, well, we'll just have to make do with grenades that don't have his name on them. She holds up her bag.
I suppose we don't technically know any of this for sure, but just from what we've heard,
And
it seems like the executive transfers his consciousness to new bodies. So it's a theory again, just because he keeps showing up in these different looking forms from
Does he?
at least from the accounts I seem to recall.
Trigger mentioned told a story that seemed to that contained an element of him showing up one day sounding very different.
Oh, okay. I thought he just sounded younger.
He did. Oh, yeah, he sounded younger.
It could be any number of
Trigger was
immortality ways.
also a blind slave. So
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trigger couldn't see him. It's like Flotsam is going off the account of Trigger, which is he sounded younger one day, and Flotsam assumed that meant that he sounded like the same pony, but he had been de-aged somehow.
I don't
So,
know
yes,
where
we have no.
I don't know where this idea in my head came about of he switches bodies.
it's possible that the executive has tried that.
It definitely is.
If he's tried just about everything, he's probably tried that. He's probably tried digitizing himself too.
Probably. If he has at least figured that out, then it's also entirely possible that he could just switch into the new, more powerful body, and who knows, maybe it keeps picking up the power. Maybe he could just turn all of those fractions into a whole that's under his control.
Suddenly I'm amusingly thinking of the idea of him successfully digitizing himself, but then we successfully delete the digitized file, or Javolt hijacks the executive's digitized file.
But it would still, even a theoretical procedure, assuming that even worked that way, it would still require an immense amount of energy. Energy that no unicorn would be able to channel even if they turned their entire body into energy.
But what about an enormous soul pit?
But that's under my control. Very strictly under my control, and the executive does not know enough about the ritual to modify it so.
As far as you know.
But you showed him how it works. Enough of how it works, right? For him to potentially make his own.
To make his own? What would be... If he were to make his own ritual, there no way he would be able to... Mine would supersede his. Any soul that dies in this area would be claimed by my ritual. Even if he had his own...
And any soul outside this area?
No, it's just the Ma. But then...
And what happens after your ritual is completed? Yours ceases to function, correct?
Yes, the dragons would be returned. There'd be no need to just gather more souls.
But there would be an enormous horde of angry dragons ravaging the wasteland, killing who knows how many.
And all those souls and stuff that you have should be used and then released.
Yes, scattered in a certain sense.
I shouldn't be entertaining these thoughts.
It makes a very compelling conspiracy theory, but do you have any evidence of this?
No, I don't.
Just
No idea what you're saying, Codeman. You are 100% robot man.
What?
Hello?
I love Skype. I love having a conference call with 9 other people in 4 different continents.
On the bright side, you're having a group conversation with people On 4 different continents! How cool is that?
Yeah, so how and stuff if I try talking?
Technology. Okay, what's the gist of what you're trying to say, Codeman?
Codeman, are you there?
But I'm not sure what I'm saying, or is it all garbled up?
It's
Okay, now you're here.
going in and out.
Ebbs and flows.
Well, all I was going to ask him is, if he has a ritual and everything, we can't do anything here, per se, can we?
Yeah, there's not really much you can do if he's got his own soul-sucking ritual, which doesn't seem like there is.
Paranoia.
So,
Astaroth says if he had such
essentially, it still boils down to, so it pretty much just boils down to, we can theorize about, like, what he might do and everything till the cow. The longer we take and stuff, just going to get him, the more time he has.
Yeah. Which is why Tibbs was about to say, shouldn't be entertaining these thoughts. We just need to get rid of the bastard.
Flotsam puts her hoof up. Yes, please.
Actually,
She goes-
No, hold on. What if we mark his soul, and then we kill him and figure out what happens with his soul? You know, put a tracer tag on him.
Good idea. You figure it out while we go try to find it.
I'm not the necromancer here.
Well, you're the one who offered up the idea, so that means it's your problem.
Okay, Zenkarn, I'm
Someone is looking
outsourcing
over-
this to you.
Flotsam is looking over Short Circuit, hoping for her to wake up. Circuit! Poke, poke.
Circuit starts to stir. The little filly starts to blink.
You're awake! Hello!
Did you beat the final boss?
Kinda. I mean, there was this big dragon soul that Din just kind of, kicked
Who's
into a
Din?
chasm.
Din.
Did I say Din? Tibbs just... Shut up! Shut the fuck up! That Tibbs just kind of kicked into a chasm.
It caused a great
That was
din.
pretty...
And then Tish.
That was pretty cool.
Oh, cool. Can we go home now?
Yeah.
Not, well, you can go home,
They
but
can go home. They need to rest. Maybe we can call Skyfall to come pick them up or something.
we need to, go beat the actual final boss. It turns out there was a bonus level.
No rest for the wicked, etc., etc. Come on, let's get everyone out of here.
Are we wicked?
She kind of at Javolt, looks at everyone else, looks back at Javolt, just with a look.
Is this
No,
is this some sort
you
of
met
youthful
us?
slang that I'm not aware of? Like wicked cool, wicked awesome?
Sure.
Is-
Just whatever
You
shuts
just
you up.
keep telling yourself that, Javolt. Yeah.
wicked sweet.
Okay.
Tibbs,
Flotsam goes over to see if she can wake up the other B team members.
Tibbs is going to turn to Astaroth and go, well, sorry for that train of thought that I completely derailed, but you wouldn't happen to know where the executive is and would be willing to give up that information, would you?
Flotsam, as she's walking away, goes, also, if he has a soul jar we need to destroy.
That too.
I believe his soul is still within his body, however mangled. He's trying to achieve physical immortality.
Doesn't act like it.
Just because it's black and rotten and shriveled doesn't mean it's not there.
I'd be more comfortable being allies if we found some way to come to a defined agreement on what we should do with this ritual. And I've thought of an idea.
Well, shoot.
Flotsam, now trying to drag over Lilypad, is kind of going, okay, what is it?
Javoltus goes over to help her because
Zenkarn's just cheering, I guess.
That seems him. Not
You
actually
can do
doing the
it.
hard work, just cheering. I believe in you. Can I get a juice box?
Actually, Jabal,
Well,
while he's helping Flotsam, he just suddenly looks at Tempered Steel and sort of does the whole watching you with his claw to Tempered Steel.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
He doesn't realize it's the watching you look. He thinks it's the come here look.
Those aren't remotely the same angle.
I suppose if you do it in reverse, like point and then to the eyes, instead of vice versa, it kinda looks like it.
Then why do you say it like that?
Because it's a physical joke in an audio format, and it doesn't work.
To be intentionally confusing, okay.
Anyway.
You said that most of the damage that will come from having angry, dragons come back can be reduced by, leaving out, say, Tiamat.
Well,
what about
the difference between, a true apocalypse and then just bands of roaming, raiding dragons? That's the difference.
Well, what is the solution to deal with? Make sure that this doesn't cause another conflict.
It's a long shot, but I believe one of the dragons collected in their hoard the Bloodstone Scepter, which dragonkind of yore innately respected.
I think Vasuki mentioned that.
So it was Vasuki who managed to find it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you saying we should have picked that as our boon? God damn it. Quick, check if it's in the Cape of Useful Items.
Shall we all roll for that?
Is there a way you think you could help us get the power that she could maybe retrieve that?
Actually,
she's in some small form, right? And so she can't quite generate as many of the...
Wait. If you're not summoning Tiamat...
Well, that's why I'm talking...
the energy that you were going to use to summon Tiamat into Vasuki so she could get the Bloodstone Scepter.
I think it would be much more amusing to just let her live out the rest of her natural life. And besides...
no accelerated puberty?
If it's just accessing a cache that's the problem, I can probably help with that easily.
Yes, because if we're going to do this, and if you think the Bloodstone Stepper would prevent...
Vasuki was always proud of her very secure compartmentalization.
We'll have to talk to Vasuki about this and make sure this happens.
While you're talking about that, Tempered Steel, do you want to help us move these unconscious bodies over?
Of course, that also means that
Particularly
either
10 paces.
Aurelia or Amal would have to be, in essence, the new Dragon Lord. And Aurelia goes, "What? Excuse me?"
Well, I trust
You
Aurelia
can't
with
do that, really.
I mean, that was the plan all
wait.
along. I mean, that was the plan, right? We weren't just going to have her follow us around like a child all the time because we wanted her to grow up and become something. My point is, we wanted to raise Aurelia. No, I mean, when you raise a child, you expect them to grow up to be their own.
No, I want to see how many feet he can fit into his mouth.
17.
Aurelia,
How long you can drag this out?
Aurelia, we love you. And we think you can do this if you want to.
I mean,
That's
having inherent
Sure
command
it
over all
was.
dragons sounds kind of rad, but
Well, the thing is, it doesn't have to be permanent.
That's
right?
true.
I mean, like, it just has to be long and at least most of
it just needs to be enough to get them to calm down. That's possible.
Yeah, it mostly needs to be a case of we don't immediately have the seeds of another war starting up. We don't want conflict to immediately get started with dragons trying to get revenge, and then counter revenge, and a cycle of revenge going, and all that crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I hear war never changes, so I've kind of had enough of it.
That's the thought I had too, was that if we, in essence, do the equivalent of bombing the rest of Pony Kind, then they'll just find a way to survive and get back at us, and I mean, that's
the cycle.
Spending 200 years dead to watch it happen is...
Do these dragons would they actually know that ponies did this?
Many of them
We
watched the bombs
literally
fell.
just had a dragon pop out of that pit and scream at ponies for causing the apocalypse.
No, he screamed at ponies. I'm not sure it was for causing the apocalypse or if it was just that particular dragon likes to scream.
Safe to assume the answer is yes. It's not like they all died immediately without, realizing. Many of them died from the ensuing radiation poisoning.
Sorry, this is going to seem like a bit of a random question, but this ritual does include you, correct? Or because you're a lich, do you not get the whole revival thing?
I've tied myself into it, but I'm honestly... I've tied several of the others into it as well, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure if it'll take, because I've already done many other things to my soul and my body, or at least what my remains, at the very least.
Speaking of which, I know you're probably not going to reveal the exact location.
No.
But there was the whole theme going on. Are you a lava or magic or what? Just out of curiosity.
Flotsam just leans over to Tibbs. What's he talking about?
I mean, Glaurung was the gold dragon, and then, I guess Nidhogg just went pure bones, and then Smaug was muscle, and just out of
I'm not terribly interested in finding out.
Yeah, maybe best that you don't.
Dragon of hugs!
It's
Says
something
Flotsam,
embarrassing,
waving her
isn't
arms.
it? You're the mountain, aren't you?
No.
Default, stop speculating. We have stuff to do.
My skeleton is
Eh.
is still just...
I'm a scientist. I never stop speculating.
Flotsam is now dragging, Stalker.
Lilypad's starting to come around.
Javon helps with Stalker.
Oh, Lilypad. How are you doing?
Seems a mite unfair that you put all this effort in and you don't get to revive yourself, for certain, at least.
We have a necromancer. If this doesn't work, he can bring her back. I think, anyway.
So I suppose, to just hash out the agreement, you use your amazing power, your great power, to boost Vasuki up enough that she can get the staff, the Dragonstone Scepter or whatever.
Bloodstone.
We get Bloodstone. The thing. We get that. Aurelia or Mal holds on to it. We let the ritual happen. Killing the executive somewhere in that part. In between these sections. And then we figure out what to do with a whole bunch of newly revived dragons, eh? Is that the general idea?
That seems agreeable. Yeah, that might just be the only way to have the best of both worlds. I won't lie, I was originally just going to unleash anarchy upon the rest of Equestria and the world, just let dragons reign again like they did in the days of old. That fantasy was very nice, it got me through many, many decades, but once the thought that it would just be like dropping the bombs on you and what we would do if we could go back in time and stop that from happening, what the dragons would have done. I can't separate it from what you're doing right now. I can't not see our hope in you.
Aww, you're learning.
That, and after watching you go through my comrades, I'm not so confident that my magic would be enough anymore.
Aw, you. She just kind of makes an all shucks motion with her hooves.
Once upon a time, everyone thought these were the most peaceful species on the planet. Can you believe that?
Who?
Which
Dragons?
Which species?
No, ponies. Ponies.
Ah, ah.
No,
That's hilarious.
I'm not even joking. The Griffins thought you were just basically a joke, and then the bombs and
Did they know about breezies?
Do you
history?
Do you know about breezies?
The heck is a breezy?
Oh my god,
All right,
post-apocalyptic breezies. I want to see this so bad.
I did make
Damn
a
it.
post-apocalyptic breezy character at one point.
Oh.
didn't take, but
I almost want to run a whole new campaign just to
Just to have that.
So we can do our pseudo Swedish accents.
Wait, never mind. This just suddenly became a bad idea.
Are you saying that you
Like,
couldn't do a
breezy
good
knowledge.
accent?
Oh my gosh, I did not get a natural 20, but do I know what breezies are? I got a 29.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, yeah. They hit it out in their freaking magical hollow. They want nothing to do with what's going on out here.
Well, I mean, there were the breezies, but, you know, the breezies were kind of obscure even back then, so, yeah. Point is, things change.
Oh, yeah,
Even
Flotsam ran a
more.
game that had a breezy, so yeah, everybody should know about them.
Oh shit! Yeah, no, I totally know what a breezy is. Sorry.
Wait, which game was this?
It
Oh,
was
the
Silly
Indian
Flotsam's
Prince.
Forest Adventure.
Oh,
that's
Billy
yeah, that's
Powder Keg
right.
was
It was
playing-
the recursive game.
Right.
That happened.
Powder Keg was Breezy Bard
We got set on fire.
because of you.
To be fair, I thought that would work.
No.
Comments that happen in every game, no matter what. To be fair, I thought that would work.
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Okay, so
So I'm not entirely sure. I cut out a little bit right there, but all I heard was like, I set you on fire and I thought it was a good idea.
We're talking about the session from the session that
The
Dally
recursive game.
DM'd.
Right. Okay.
So
Oh.
so the party does know what
Awesome.
breezes are.
Yeah. Yeah, the moment that I animated for hilarious.
Yes, that was an amazing animatic. I'm gonna go with Flotsam. Wait, breezies are real?
They aren't just a thing in my fantasy game?
Well, admittedly, the textbook I was looking at was old, but presumably it wasn't a complete lie.
Well, they were real. I'm not sure if there was the whole pollen migration. I'm not sure if they survived without the pollen.
Oh yeah.
They might have.
They
I'm-
might have had an industrial revolution in that little hollow of theirs. Who knows? Damn it! This is becoming a good
Across
setting
the
all of a sudden.
Oh my god, I'm
Or
picturing like
meanwhile,
French
across the
Revolution
pond, we have
breezies.
breezies making synths, like pilotable synths. That's
Or there were
that's
Oh my god.
They're the Fallout 4 MIT.
Son of
Okay,
a-
so follow-up campaign.
survivalist
No.
breezies. They built up the equivalent of an MLP survival shelters.
This is so ridiculous.
Damn it.
Okay, so we should probably get back to.
Michael, we've hashed out the deal basically. Okay. Sorry.
That
I
was
have to calm
amazing.
down.
I want to.
Oh.
I need to do
we
like.
hashed out the deals and spent the next 10 minutes talking about whether or not breezies existed.
And in what state?
Yeah.
But-
And this is all happening in universe, so Astaroth is just watching us talk about breezies.
Yeah, Astaroth's just kind of looking on like, what is this tangent you're on?
This is how we work.
Welcome to us.
I promised myself I would never get as bad as some of my clients, and here I am arguing about breezies. Anyways, so now that we've sort of hashed out that deal, do you have that information on where the executive is and a possible way to reach him, etc., etc.?
Well, he'll be back in the Red Scale Cathedral with fortifying himself with a bunch of the cult followers. I do not know exactly down to the room where he is, but it would just take a bit of scrying.
Wait, do we actually have to go
I have-
fight him specifically, or could we just teleport a bomb there? No, you're right. That would cause collateral damage. We should probably go fight him specifically.
Yeah,
Who said that anyway?
Yes, because we're not going to cause any collateral damage.
Well, yes, but at least we'll yell warnings.
I would not recommend that because you take out... One, I don't have any bombs on
by the
hand,
way-
but... Yes.
About that and stuff, about the cold.
Someday, Codeman's message will reach us.
There, and I wasn't sure if, like, you could all hear me.
Yeah, we barely caught it.
About you.
Well, we missed that entirely. Oh, goody. About the cult, I'm not sure what the question is.
Me neither.
Can we keep them? I'm going to guess that is the question, yes. Can we have a cult?
Can we have a cult, please? And I'd argue that you guys already have a cult of personality.
Wait, what? Cult of the Dragon Maulers, or what?
Well, considering...
No, just the cult of Tiamat. Can we have it? Can it be ours?
And lo, Tempered Steel did say, Tibbs, are you selling drugs? Amen. Picturing the cult thousands of years in the future.
Oh,
And what would Javolt be in this cult? A god of knowledge, a trickster god,
yeah,
or
you'd
what?
definitely become like some kind of
Loki.
trickster.
The Loki.
They will tell great stories of rivalry between Steel and Tibbs over drugs.
And
before
stories of
Javolt
rivalry between Javolt and Steel over worldview.
In before Javolt becomes Loki. You know you love me.
I do.
I'll see myself out.
He will become Techno Loki.
And of course, the
And the only one
the
still
supreme
alive at
deity.
this point is
Fluffy.
Zenkarn. Zenkarn is the only one still alive in this point.
And he just says, yeah, that all sounds about right.
And he's using his power to basically say, I'm a demigod, blah, blah, blah. And everything you believe is true, except for that.
Okay,
Because that's
Codeman,
just hideous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Codeman's written his thing.
Yeah, I know. I was just waiting for the current tangent to end.
Okay, we're done.
Yeah, how many of them are loyal to Astaroth? If she were to say show up with you guys, would the cult listen to her? That way, we only have to fight the mercenaries who are loyal to the executive. And Astaroth says, I'm not sure. Quite a few of the loyalists have left, so I'm not sure what ratio of mercenaries to loyalists they have, and how much of the executive's rhetoric they've bought. And a lot of that rhetoric too has been to say any dragon that's with you is corrupted. Aurelia, Fasuki, Mal. I imagine their stupid ire would turn on me even if I were to show up and give them an opposite message.
leaving the only dragon they'd worship, Tiamat,
Yes.
who I have sincere doubts we can do any kind of reasoning with. So,
Tiamat just takes what she wants.
is that different from most dragons?
No, but, and she kind of looks at Aurelia, I think dragons will have to be different if they're going to survive in this new Equestria.
Yeah, ponies will have to change too, so nothing terribly new. I guess one last question, if you'll indulge me.
Mm-hmm.
Are you certain with this resurrection you're not doing anything you'll regret?
That's the whole reason we're talking, is to figure that out.
Fair. It's just.
But I don't think
again-
I don't think I'll regret bringing back my kin from their unjust death. I don't think I will ever regret that. I don't think I will ever give that up.
Well, suppose I didn't think that way either at first. Oh well. I doubt I'll be able to change your mind or say anything along those lines. Doubt it even matters. So.
Flotsam shuffles up next to Tibbs and does her best Tempered Steel impression. Tibbs, are you being angsty?
What are you chuckling about?
Flotsam, you offend me. Tibbs will
Blink, blink.
Tibbs will fake grab his chest as though he has been mortally wounded.
Blink, blink.
Steel will go over and give Flotsam playful ruffle the mane.
Flotsam will once again sit on Steel's head.
The Well of Souls starts to faintly glow. Big,
Is it meant to be doing that?
a purple,
That a
kind
good
of,
thing
kind
or a
of
bad
pale,
thing?
pale purple. And
What does that mean?
Astaroth looks to it and says, seems it's retrieving another soul that has passed on from its mortal body.
This is Is there a way to identify this, or are we just going to live in suspense?
It'll be along shortly, I imagine.
You know what?
It's going to be someone we know personally, isn't it?
Well,
Probably.
that's being awful meta towards me.
No, I mean, honestly.
Knowing our luck, probably.
You see, like, through the sort of faux, glass window looking out into the rest of the maw, you see a sort of spiritual presence pass through the wall and then fly towards the Well of Souls. It looks like a pony, but not one that you recognize.
Huh.
What do they look like?
Flotsam waves.
Oh dear.
The question is, the thing is, it doesn't, have,
It's just pony shaped, but it doesn't really have any distinguishing characteristics.
It does. You can kind of very clearly see, the shape of the pony. They just don't have clothes. They don't have any of their material possessions.
Do they still have their cutie mark?
Yeah, it's one that I haven't thought of yet because this pony isn't named, and by God, you are not going to make me have to characterize this one.
It went by too fast for us to see it.
Cutie mark is tutting. Cutie
Call
mark
it-
just says sigh.
We'll call her Sarah. This is Sarah the Soul. And she's going to be the hero in another adventure, but that's not for this time. That's a story for another time.
Then another soul flies through, and another,
Oh,
and another,
shit.
and another.
Right, we're in the middle of a war.
The war is supposed to be at sort of a standstill.
Either everything's everything's gone to hell. Everything's gone to Tartarus, I should say. But methinks this is probably worse.
Astaroth looks rather worriedly at the stream of souls coming through and says, "That's quite a few all at once," and she reaches out with a claw and freezes one in midair and watches as it sort of glows with this sort of sickly green energy. These are all the emotional value of them. She lets the soul go through and just watches in horror as they enter the soul well, says, these are suicides.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that the executive is not really rallying the forces. I think he's just trying to kickstart this thing now.
That's a lot of souls.
Alright, do you need anything? Do you need to just talk to Fazuki to get her to get the Bloodstone Scepter, or
Yeah,
do you need us to deliver something, or...
How about we get moving? And
I'm just thinking we have
get
the B
Fazuki
team right
and
here.
Can you call a drop-off?
Can Flotsam reach Skyfall from her pitbuck while here?
You have no signal, although a wave of Astaroth's hand, and suddenly you do.
Cool. Flotsam to Skyfall.
It takes a little while, but Chase gets on the line and says, yeah, there's a ongoing development, but sure, what's up?
Is the ongoing development that ponies are dying?
Well, there's this broadcast going out on all frequencies. If you can talk to us, you can probably catch it now.
I'll do that, but first, can you come over to the mountain where you dropped us off? We need a pickup.
And we need Vasuki.
Yeah, I'll let them know. All right. But yeah, take a listen. It's not good.
Flotsam shuts off the frequency and puts it on to a different frequency.
Yeah, there's a new item in the radio menu of the Pip Buck. and
Selects it, opens it.
and it's saying, "This is Amber of the Cult of Tiamat. Any opponents that truly believe, stay away from the Red Scale Cathedral. Just get out as soon as you can." The executive,
Blossom's face lights up.
the grand meeting, it's a trap. The executive's going to kill every pony.
Blossom's face, she looks worried, but she lights up at hearing Amber. It's Amber. She's trying to help people.
Just, I don't know why, but everyone needs to get out now. Just surrender to either the Steel Rangers or the Four Horses or whatever, but just start running now. And then she says, "Okay." Message repeats. "This is Amber of the Cult of Tiamat."
Is this a recorded
Shuts
message?
it off.
It is a recorded message.
She shut off her pit bucket, shut off the transmission at this point. Okay, so is it faster for us to get a lift with Skyfall or try and make it to Razkale Cathedral on Heth?
Astaroth
Is it
looks down.
teleport us?
Astaroth looks down and says, "It'd be faster if I send you."
See, that was actually what I was thinking. Although you may need to call the Skyfall and tell them about the change of plans. Are we taking the B team with us, or are we leaving them back here?
The B team have been unconscious and they're still recovering. No, the pickup was for them.
Okay, fair enough.
Should we separate? I hate to say this. Should we separate? Should we have Aurelia get the scepter thing separate from
That
us?
is probably not a bad idea.
Why? But I want to shoot the executive in the face.
And actually,
And we
Powder
want
Keg wants to
dragons
blow him.
not to start attacking people as soon as they wake up.
The point is nobody's getting what they want because the executive is mean and evil. And just tell Powder Keg when you see him, give him a jetpack or something.
I have the very distinct feeling that you'll have a chance to do more than shoot him in the face. Maybe, if you're lucky, you'll get a chance to use an army of dragons to set the fucker on fire.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I am in favor of this plan. Also, should we get moving?
Yeah, Astaroth weaves magic through the air, and
Flotsam hugs Short Circuit goodbye.
Short Circuit is still just kind of bleary, going, "What? What's going on?"
Say hi to Chase for us.
Aurelia's going to take you to Skyfall, and
I'm really staying? I've been with
it's
you.
not like we want you to stay. It's
I've been
just
with
that
you guys this entire time. Dang it.
Can't Vizuki wield the blood scepter?
I don't want to know
Also,
what she'd do
can't
with
they
it.
just can't?
Crap. Fine, I'll go
It's
and...
you,
Wait.
Vizuki, or Mal, and frankly, I trust you the most.
Yeah.
And you'll probably do the best job.
Oh. She
Well,
just grimaces and then runs
What do
forward and gathers you up on a big ol' hug.
Oh,
Just,
Flotsam hugs back.
God.
Feel will
Javolt-
hug back.
Javolt just okay. This is now a group hug.
Don't
Tibbs is
die.
Tibbs is the
Just don't freaking die, okay?
We'll try not to. You too, okay? I love you, Aurelia.
Tibbs is not going to hug, but he is going to grab Aurelia by the face and go, "Don't forget, having that amount of power is probably the best thing that'll ever happen to you. Let it go to your head."
Awesome.
Don't let
Din?
Tibbs
Din.
corrupt you.
Din is quickly becoming this sort of mimetic figure in this world.
Apparently, I don't know that I like it.
Well, there's a lot of noise wherever we go, so
I swear, for Din's sake.
Who is this Din? Anyway.
Alright. Aurelia finally forces herself to let go and
wait a minute. Can't Astaroth just teleport the scepter to us?
well, that's they need.
Here's the
they
thing:
need to
it has
they
to
need
be
to
wielded by.
they
it
need to
needs to be
coordinate
wielded
with
by a
Vizuki
dragon.
to find it.
Yeah, they have to do that, and then
Fair point.
it has to be wielded by a dragon. So yes, it could happen, but it's going to take longer than we have.
Fair point.
You guys are just shedding NPCs. I've never seen this. I've never
We
seen.
Wrong,
have come
Spud.
full
It's the
circle.
end of
Or possibly
times.
half circle.
All right. Legacy. I got here
If we're
late.
going-
I missed the Battle of the Dragons. How'd it go? You don't want to know. Okay. Astaroth finishes
Wait.
weaving a portal into the air.
Oh wait,
Forward into it.
are we supposed to go
Oh,
through
God.
the portal?
That will,
Flotsam is
that will
going to
take-
do a
that will-
thing.
that will take it. Oh, what?
She is going to hug Craggy tight, and then she's going to give Craggy to Aurelia.
Okay, this is just. Who are you guys?
I want to
Uh,
keep Craggy safe.
Javolt turns to Igor,
God.
and Igor says, no.
Okay, well played.
And Javolt opens his mouth, and she says, no. Look, the guy originally built me, so I want to get a few zaps in myself, you know? Well, maybe not built me, programmed me. You know what I'm saying. And Javolt,
Flotsam just kisses Craggy's forehead. He said that's fine.
Sorry. What did typed in the stream chat is killing me.
What did he do?
But,
I
wait,
said, wait, shoot, if this is going full circle, then Tibbs is about to kick it.
On
Wow.
alright.
and
Wait,
Javolt
what?
actually raises a hoof and says, wait a minute. Igor, you don't actually have any reason to dislike the executive since he sort of programmed you in the first... Why am I even questioning this?
Let's just go.
That's an excellent
All right.
question, Weaver. Why are you arguing with yourself?
Cracky is very upset to be separated from you, Flotsam.
Technically,
I
aren't you
don't
hiding
want you-
behind one of your attack moves or something?
No, Craggy is not a combat companion.
Oh, okay.
She's just a
That would
regular
be-
companion.
Yep.
Craggy, it was our fault that your family died. I couldn't live with myself if you died because of us too.
Well, that's kind of a bombshell to be dropping at the last minute.
Yes.
I think Craggy knows.
Craggy still just nuzzles you.
Please be good, okay? Look after Snow for me, in case I don't come back.
Craggy, like, shakes his head and gives you a big ol' alligator grin. As if to say, you'll make
Please,
it back.
Craggy?
You'll make it back.
Okay.
I think it's a
Okay.
crocodile grin.
Yeah,
Crocodile.
Crocodile grin.
Either way. Okay, Craggy. Of course I'll come back. But you still look after Snow, okay? Don't worry about me.
Okay, so we have the portal, what, sitting above us or sitting off to the side?
Off
or-
to the side. Astaroth is now focusing on the soul well. So
All right.
Alright,
Steel's gonna
So,
hold his hammer.
here's what we're going to do. We're
All
going
right.
to jump through the portal and have the most dramatic landing on the other side. Poses, everyone! Let's go!
Let's do this thing. Dragon Ballers!
Oh, you just had to do that, and Javolt through the portal.
Well,
Flotsam flies through.
Steel ran through as he was shouting that.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're running through, you guys.
Okay.
That's totally a thing that just happened.
I wonder how far above the ground we end up.
You
Just
all
appear
you all
in the
jump
middle of the sky.
through the portal, and sorry. Y'all go through,
Yes.
and
So it's recorded. Firelight says he goes through and tells Aurelia not to go power crazy and they'll be back for dinner.
y'all go through, and just as easily as stepping from, putting one hoof in front of the other, you find yourselves at the gates of the Red Skull Cathedral, just outside. And there are a ton of just cultist guards waiting outside, all of them wielding fairly impressive weapons.
Okay, I'm only going to
Well-
say this once. We've corrupted all your gods. We are now your new gods. Let us through.
You,
Oh, I've got such a good feeling about this.
if they are so shocked by this sudden entrance that if you were to attack them, you would have a full surprise round.
Shall we knock them out?
Does
Can we
anyone
just-
have a flashbang?
Yes, I have several.
Okay.
Oh my god, do it. We can just run
Yeah.
past them.
So I can use Spirotechnics or Celestia's Light, which Yeah, twice a day you may turn this light up to a blinding intensity that lasts for 10 seconds. So bright it's like looking into the sun itself. Any creature that sees this light is blinded for the next 12 seconds.
You want to use that?
Yes.
Alright. Just as the guards are starting to recognize what has just happened in front of them, past their lines and lines of defenses, you blind them all with a incredible flare of light, which they are not prepared for at all, and you hear screams of agony around you.
Javolt takes this moment to hand out the modified hazmat cloaks that look like cultist robes, which it says 5-second prep time, so we can do that before they lose their blindness and then run in, just to further the confusion.
How far away is the gate? Can we just run through the gate?
You're like right in front of the door.
Yeah, so can we just push the door open, go inside, close the door?
Yeah.
Hazmat cloaks so everyone looks like they're cultists.
Push the guards aside a little so they...
Yep. You push through, you knock a few guards to the ground where they just like, wait, and they try to blindly swipe at you and topple over again. And you just shove the big double doors of the cathedral open.
Make the guards run into each other.
Yeah. And in comes Night Stalker. No.
That would be amazing if true.
You still need to get back to Dynamic Duo. Anyway, so you charge through.
Yes, we do.
Go past the initial foyer and into the Grand Mass Hall, where you've been in here once before riding a homicidal robot. Except now you're full sized, and there are dead cultist bodies all over the place.
Mm.
Each one nearby each nearby. No, actually, no. There don't seem to be any obvious. No. Changing my decision once again. You can see that each one of them has some kind of, sort of, like, scarring from some kind of spell aimed, most of them at their faces. Mostly foreheads or, sides of the heads of their unicorns.
Some kind of mind control magic?
And they are all dead. And
ritual mass suicide, I expect, honestly.
And standing at sort of the dais at the very back is, with a massive evil grin on his face, is Pony you recognize, whose first glimpse you got was at very giant size, but now normal sized, even with all his disfigurement, is the executive. And he seems to be glowing a sort of burning orange color.
Flotsam just scowls and goes, "Oh, this asshole."
Mr. E, we have come to accept your surrender.
That's
yes.
Rich.
You do need to surrender. You don't look particularly healthy with that glow there. It looks like you're about to. Trust me, I'm not a medical doctor, but I do have a medical doctor here. Do you think he looks healthy, Tibbs?
Flotsam is looking desperately at the cultists to see if any of them are still alive.
You roll perception.
You bet. If I can get the right tab open. Unnatural 20 again.
You...
Can Firelight try the same thing?
You don't need to, because Flotsam notices and manages to pass along silently that it looks like there are a couple of stirring bodies, as though, I guess, some ponies just faked their death, and are trying to stay still so that they don't get noticed.
Flotsam, does pass this along silently as best she can, and actually starts going forward to try and take the attention off of them. Or keep the attention off of them.
Unfortunately,
okay.
I am going to have to call this a cliffhanger because...
Fair.
I don't know exactly what's going to happen next.
Fair enough. And you're probably melting at this point as well, given the heat and humidity.
And the weather is... I mean, it's a little better now, but the weather is still awful today. Awful.
Thanks for soldiering through, though.
So I'm
that was
sorry.
good.
I'm sorry
had fun.
I'm sorry to call this short, but
This has been Fallout is Dragons.
Join us next week, where we hand the executive his butt on a platter.
We'll see about that. We'll see about that. Sorry, one more thing. For clearing out, basically defeating Astaroth in a certain sense, and the Four Horses, and Dragon Lord Torch in a certain sense, and everything you've done since Vasuki, which is not insignificant, you are all level 10.
Woo!
Wow.
And Codeman,
this is going to-
Codeman, you and I will talk about Tibbs, you get nothing, and I assume you're okay with that.
I am so sad. My life
Codeman,
will never.
you and I will talk about what's going to happen to you with your level 10 destiny.
Okay.
Hmm.
And that's the actual end of the session.